It's meant to be everything that you can imagine. Paul said, and I'm not really a fan of Paul's, but he said the marriage bed is pure and undefiled. In other words, whatever the husband and wife do together, however they decide to make love to each other, is perfectly fine, almost expected. Hopefully love's there. Love is the ceiling thing. I had a person I was with for a while, she said to me, well, sex and love aren't the same thing. Yeah, I resisted that. Of course it's true. She was absolutely right. But as I told her, the absolute perfect situation is when those two things, in other words, love being the spiritual, okay, the spiritual side, sex being the physical side, that the spirit and the physical should balance out, and in this case, fuse. Kind of a different video this morning. Yes, I'm still concerned about Jade Helm. These are pre-positioning of equipment and personnel, getting the people ready, accepting what's going on. There are moves by the UN, Agenda 21. All of that is going on. As I've said, this is very dangerous. But the United States, this country, has done some horrible, horrible things to its own people and to the world. And as some other commentators have said, I believe that this is a judgment. Can it change? Yes, it can. Will it? I don't know. I read Jonah every day hoping that the United States will turn into Nineveh and repent of all of its evil, all of its abortions, its murders, its thievery, its empire building overseas. It's not just projecting power forward to protect our interests. It's actually taking over other places. The thing in Ukraine. And that's why I read the thing in Luke there, because all of these things were done in secret and then pretend to be something else, like the liberation, Iraqi freedom. Oh, if anybody can't see that that was a joke, that was a deceit at this point in time, we have a problem. So I worry about what's happening. Our understanding of sex, of the male and female relationship, is actually key in our understanding about the balance between spirit and matter, between the spiritual side and the physical side. Okay? Project the pureness of that in everything else that you see, and see if there's deceit going on. And if there is, then the metaphor that Paul uses in Corinthians, saying that he wants to present the church as a chaste virgin to God, which doesn't mean that the people are sexless or without sex or not engaging it. It means it's talking about that relationship of being pure, okay, of being committed, in this case, to God. Think of truth, think of light. Committed to God, committed to truth, committed to light. Not committed to darkness and deceit and travail and stirring things up for your own benefit so that you can reap the rewards, order out of chaos. That's not good. That's not good. Since I started a second video to finish my thoughts here, I thought, well, I might as well add a little bit to it now that I have a little time. I moved inside also. It was getting kind of noisy outside, so a little change of pace, I guess. I wanted to speak a little bit about the way that the United States government, the rogue parts of that, the continuity of government, the players behind the scenes, be they in the government itself or influential oligarchs, are pushing the world to war. And I've talked about this before, but I want to address the military and the police again, just very quickly. Look, if you really study the situation, we're not out there to help people live better lives. We're out there to take what they have. We're out there to destroy their lives. I saw a commercial, and I'm going to get some people upset here, but you've got to understand the military, as I've said before, is a necessary evil. It should not be worshipped. Respected, okay, I said maybe not even respected at one point, but respected, but only in as much as they do the right thing. The Navy has a motto now, and it says a global force for good. Really? Is that what you were in Libya? Really? Is that what you've been everywhere? Have we liberated anybody? I mean, truly given them freedom? Really? No, we put in puppet governments for oligarchic purposes. We did it in Ukraine, we did it in Libya, we did it in Syria. Well, Syria, we're trying to do it. You know, there are really evil people that are controlling this, and to fight for the wrong thing, to stand up there and threaten other people's land, resources, and lives by force. Let me read you something from Cicero. I included this in a video before, but I want you to listen to this. Remember, about a video or two ago, I said it's important that you read the Constitution, understand the principles in the Constitution and in the Declaration of Independence. And if you're not upholding those, then at least admit you're not. You know, you took an oath, at least admit you're a hypocrite, and the oath didn't mean anything to you. You did it to get ahead or whatever. You have to read it if you're gonna take an oath to it and understand it. And the Declaration of Independence is basically our reason for taking the actions that we did. And if you read through the grievances against the crown in those days, you'll see it's very similar to what's happening today. You know, DC is filth. Look at Hastert. And they were all like that, almost to a person up there, just like they are in the British government. Pedophiles. Remember the Franklin cover-up? You know, I got involved in that a little bit as far as investigating it. Senator DeCamp asked me to get involved at one point. That's been going on for a long time, and these people are filthy demons. Most everybody in DC is that way. The bureaucrats, the government officials, the people behind the scenes, the oligarchs that support them, soldiers, police. Listen to this. Okay, this is from Cicero. Cicero, his book, The Offices, Book 1, Chapter 19. Cicero was a member of the Roman Senate, and he was a philosopher. I want you to listen to this. Kind of similar to Rand Paul today, really. Quote, "That kind of courage which is conspicuous in danger and enterprise, if devoid of justice, is absolutely undeserving of the name of valor. It should rather be considered as a brutal fierceness outraging every principle of humanity." The powers that be have thrown out there to those of you who get involved in this that fighting and dying for your country is somehow valorous, courageous, and that if you believe in God, that God will forgive you of anything that you do when you're fighting for your government. That's not true, ladies and gentlemen. It's not true. Your conscience still has to be your guide. You still have to entertain the Spirit of God, the Spirit of light and truth in your heart, or you'll be damned for it. Oh, you might get ahead in this world. You know, I know several people that have gone and done everything the government wanted to. And oh yeah, they have big houses, nice paychecks and all that, but they're soulless. And that way they will remain. If you're not doing something for the right reason, and what is the right reason? Very simple. The promulgation, the protection of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. We can't export that which we do not possess. We must get it back for our own people before we try to give it something that we don't have to somebody else. Look at the history of the last few years, and I rest my case. Iraq. I had friends die in Iraq. Look at it. And this isn't an accident. This isn't because, one political party or the other prevented from what's happening. No, this is the design of the military-industrial complex and all that's connected to it. It's tragic. Remember what Cicero said here? Read a little bit about Thomas Jefferson and the Founding Fathers and the Declaration of Independence and what they felt about these things. And then remember Patrick Henry. I did a whole video on Patrick Henry here about 2 years ago. In his address where he said, "Give me liberty or give me death." Read the whole thing. He says, we see all these preparations by the military. Who is it against? Well, when you look at it, it's against us. They'll use other pretenses, riots which they have fomented, ISIS which they have built up and supported, open the borders so they can get in. You can't even draw a Muhammad cartoon, but the Mohammedans can crucify and kill Christians because of their beliefs. They want freedom in this country, and I'm not saying they don't deserve freedom. Don't misunderstand me here. But they're asking for something here they wouldn't give you if you were there. And they justify it based upon their understanding of the Quran and also of their corrupt leadership, just like everybody else has. Well, I wanted to make this little addendum here because I wanted to bring that up because of the deceits involved, how they have affected everyone in the world. We are the cradle of evil. The people that have control of this nation are the epitome of evil. As Isaiah 59 said, they run to evil. They revel in it. They glory in the shedding of innocent blood. It's a sacrament to them. We must not take part in that. We must stand back and say no. The judgments, I'm not a Bible thumper. I mean, I probably sound like it, but it's a cause and effect thing. We've done evil things to innocents in the womb, to innocents breathing air, all across the world. Cause and effect is going to destroy us, and we as individuals need to select what side we're going to be on, because the nation's going down. The hubris in that filthy, disgusting hellhole called DC is planning a war, a major war. And they've had some setbacks, okay? Now Russia and China are coming back together because we didn't build our relationships to take mankind forward. As I said before in another video when the Berlin Wall came down. We could have taken that. I'm not saying we don't have to defend ourselves, because we do. We have to be wise. But we fomented these destructions and these wars and this greed. If we had taken it forward, taken mankind forward, that would have been one thing, but we didn't do that. Instead, we've used death and destruction to try to force our will on others. That's really how the military describes what they are anyway now. It's our ability to force our will on somebody else, not any other pretense that you might think. That's what they teach in the upper echelons of the schools. Okay, so what about this war that's coming? I am in grief. There's nothing I can do to stop it. But let me tell you how this is going to play out. These invincibles, that's what they think they are in DC, and those who control them are going to push this and push it until it ends up in total destruction. And I told you once before, they would just as soon see everything else destroyed as to lose their power. They have no love in their hearts. They're evil to the core. The U.S. will be burned in a single day. I'm telling you that now. It's not a prophecy. It's cause and effect. Prepare spiritually. Prepare physically. Doesn't mean we'll survive if we do that. But God might grant us, depending upon what side of that fence we sit on, to live life more abundantly on the other side. All right. Like I said, kind of a different one this morning. I hope that you found it a little interesting, if nothing else. I hope you all have a great day.